What's up, everybody? Welcome into the Fantasy Football Game Show brought to you by Front Yard Fantasy here on Better Sports Network. I'm your host, Simon, joined as always by my very handsome hat-wearing co-hosts Joey Wright and John Luke. And joining us today, we've got our great friend Jamie Calandro here with us. For those of you that do not know Jamie, you can find him on Twitter at Jack3600. That is JAC3600. He's the senior analyst and president of operations over at Fantasy Team Advice, and a DFS analyst at footballdiehards.com and Fantasy Pros. And you've probably caught one or two of his Scott Fishbowl songs that make their way around Twitter. Jamie, thank you so much for taking the time to come on with us today.
Thank you, guys. As I said, this is my favorite show to be on, and now it's out in the world. It's public, so it's it's real this time.
No take.
Everybody knows.
Now you're lying to everybody instead of. I always love when a guest shows up just with that hardware sitting behind them, showing off just a.
It's like winner.
Tell us what that trophy's from.
That is the 2020 Fantasy Pros Accuracy Cup, Sleeper Accuracy Cup. It was like, I forget what it was. You had to pick a few people outside of the top 150 to outperform their ADP by a certain amount. So that was what I got. And that was, thank you, Trophy Smack, for that guy back there.
That's some heavy duty hardware. Some a Fantasy Pros contest right there. Well, we got some people in the chat hype for today's show. Victor down here saying, "Hola, bro, chachos. It's National Tequila Day. Have a shot or 10, but don't you forget to smash that like button."
What up, Victor?
Maybe hit the like button before the 10th shot of tequila.
Yeah, probably.
Someone needs to call up Josh because I am not going to be celebrating Tequila Day today. That is something that my body will reject. We got Maria in here coming in saying, I have my food and I'm ready to watch some Fantasy Fortune.
Let's go.
Oh, boy. One of our favorite Canadians in the chat, Toronto, Dave.
Hey,
welcome.
What up, Dave?
And we got Scampers over here, the chat cat. Hi, FYF fam. And our chat historian coming in with some stats.
I saw
For
that.
our guest Jamie, making your third FYF appearance today. In games, you are 1-0, having previously won in Jeopardy on July 15th, 2022. So defending your undefeated game record here on the Fantasy Football Game Show.
I remember Matthew Stafford was the answer, but I don't remember the question.
That's all you need. It's Jeopardy, so who needs to know the question?
Right, yes.
We got Alex in here saying, "Hey, everyone. What's
What up, Alex?
Welcome in, my friend." And Andrew showing some love for Jamie already. You got a cheering section in the chat.
Clap, clap.
We got Jay down here.
I have to say, too, that Mr. Scampers is also a very loyal listener and fan of our football diehards. And I love him to begin with, but I saw a picture of him at his live Scott Fishbowl draft, and now my love for him is multiplied by about 2,000 now. If you saw the picture.
You got a thing for beards?
You can't if you can't help it if you haven't seen him.
It was the eyes too. It wasn't just the beard. It's got those eyes that I was like, oh man, I love this guy.
It was perfect.
I wonder how many people
just like you,
Mr. Scampers had to audition to find the human he was going to control. For
I know,
minutes, right? Like
probably went through thousands.
God, that had to be an extensive application process to find the perfect human vessel for that.
He's got his little paws in the head,
exactly
the body.
It's like a raccoon.
Oh, Scampers, when will you learn?
We got Dame in here saying hello. What's up, Dame?
Hello,
welcome in, my friend. And I see Albert in here as well. What's up, Albert? Glad to have you in here. Ladarius stopping by to hang out with us. Good afternoon, all. Hope all is well with all. And the cheering section for Jamie just keeps on growing. We got FF Chalupa Batman in here.
They were paid well.
What's up, my friend? Guys, before we get into our show today, we had a question from Grim Fan that I wanted to touch on. We had some news, some unfortunate news come out of the Buffalo Bills side this morning that there was a left ACL injury for Nyheim Hines, and it's likely going to mean he misses the entire season. Jamie, I'm going to throw this to you, and maybe an already confusing or unclear Buffalo backfield. What does this Nyheim Hines injury do to how you're approaching it for fantasy?
Yeah, no, that was a weird freak injury too. It was like a jet ski or a motorcycle. Yeah.
At least he was happy while he heard it.
Yeah, right. I think that's through everybody here. Tough break for the Bills. I expect that they're going to add some kind of a back that is the same kind of archetype as him, because they don't really have. Yeah. They don't really.
You guys are killing it today.
Outside of when you think of Damian Harris and Latavius Murray, those guys couldn't catch a pass if you if you underhanded it to him.
If you passed it to him.
Yeah. So I think if you're drafting right now, you can give James Cook a slight boost as maybe the only viable pass catcher, but I don't know. I don't think they're going to let that go unnoticed for long. So I'm the stay the course right now.
I like Grim Fan saying bring back CJ Spiller. Joey, this is clearly plan A. What would plan B be for the Buffalo Bills here? Do you think they're bringing someone else in?
If not bringing back CJ Spiller, probably the most disappointed I've ever been in a fantasy player because I was so high on him and nothing ever happened with it. I was actually chatting with our friend Dustin today about this. I was really interested when I saw the news because I think this will be telling what Buffalo thinks about their two backs they have with James Cook and Damian Harris. And I'm very high on Damian Harris this season. If they bring in Dalvin Cook like Dustin said, to possibly play with his brother, I mean, I could see that happening. Dustin brought that up. I thought that made a lot of sense, but I just can't see them hitting on one of the big three free agents, Leonard Fournette, Ezekiel Elliott, or Dalvin Cook coming in. I think it's just going to be a role player, just some depth. I really do.
What about someone who's made his money being a pass catcher in an offense led by a pure running back, Kareem Hunt? I think Kareem Hunt makes so much sense here in this Buffalo Bills offense. He's been waiting for that landing spot. This is in a role that is opened up there, and I don't think they want to just hand it all to James Cook. So I could see that being a great landing spot for Kareem Hunt. And then someone in your PPR leagues, you can draft him later. He won't have a ton of value probably early in the season, but we've seen what the dude can do given a decent chunk of touches in an offense. And this is an offense that those touches are a little bit more valuable than maybe they were in Cleveland for him. So I'm waiting to see how it lands, but that's where I end up sitting. Jay said, don't sleep on Damian Harris. Probably not very comfortable. I'm not sure he would appreciate it either.
I don't know. He looks like a big teddy bear. You just cuddle on in there.
Probably sleep on him.
Before we get to our game, Maria in here said, normalize sleeping in socks. Never.
No
Absolutely not. That is borderline a bannable offense from the chat to even say that. Oh, God. Maria, I thought you were perfect. Now I learned.
Fontes, perfect? No, that's Maria.
You got to dig deep, but there's always baggage.
There's always baggage.
Well, guys, today we brought Jamie here to play some Fantasy Fortune. Before we get into that, though, a couple reminders. First and foremost, if you're not following our guest, Jamie, you need to go and fix that right now. You can find him on Twitter at JAC3600. It's right there below his handsome hatted face on the screen. Or you can find it in the link to this video if you're watching on our YouTube or the BSN YouTube. And if you are watching there, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It is the easiest way to show your support for what we're doing. And that little notification bell will make sure you never miss when we go live every day, Monday through Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern time. And also, it'll make sure you don't miss when we go live tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern time for some fantasy football pub trivia, World Cup themed this week, baby. So we've got an hour of trivia where you guys are the contestants tonight, 30 questions with a World Cup tilt to some of them with the Women's World Cup going underway. So if you want to come show off your NFL knowledge, your fantasy knowledge, and your World Cup knowledge, come hang out tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern time for some fantasy football pub trivia on the Bettercast. You guys ready to get into some Fantasy Fortune?
Let's do it.
I'm going to explain how this game works. Joey is going to be running it for us today, but then we will get started. The game today is Fantasy Fortune, and if you've ever played Wheel of Fortune, it's very similar, but we got rid of that stupid wheel. Just that superfluous wheel.
Dumbass wheel.
What we're doing instead is you got to answer a 50-50 NFL or fantasy-related trivia question in order to guess a letter that you think appears in the puzzle. Get it right, you're going to get to guess that consonant. You can do this up to 3 times in a row on your turn. That is, get a question right, guess a letter right. But if at any point either one of those things is wrong, your answer to the question or the consonant doesn't appear in the puzzle, your turn is immediately over. If you do manage to get 3 in a row correct, you'll get to bank all of that money before we move on to the next contestant. Now, during your turn, there are 2 other actions you can take before a question has been asked to you. That is, you can choose to solve the puzzle. You will bank all of the money that is in your round bank or $1,000, whichever is higher, or you can choose to buy a vowel, which will cost $100 per instance that it shows up to a max of $500. But you're going to need to have a minimum of $500 in your round bank in order to make that purchase. We'll go like this, alternating turns, either after you get them all right, solve the puzzle, or get a question wrong until we run out of puzzles, run out of time, or run out of clean underpants, at which point we will end this game, and whoever has the most money is our Fantasy Fortune champion. You guys ready?
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's go.
Let's do it. Okay,
Jake
Daddy
game today.
Joey, you're in charge.
All right. I'll get the first one up. Now, if you were
no.
listening to everything Simon said, that's good. You should have been. But for this one, this is going to be a toss-up. So it's going to be a player's name, and you have to say your name. And when you say your name, if you're the first one to ring in, you get to guess the player. If you get it right, you get $500. You get to go first in the next round.
Yeah, one more reminder for our contestants out of the chat. Either have that screen full-sized or be in a different tab for that. And everyone in the chat, the reason we're doing that is so you guys can play along. Throw your answers in there. And if any of us see it, it's because we're cheating on purpose. So that'll be the only way that we see your answers over there.
All right. You guys about ready?
Oh, yeah.
Let's go.
All right. I'm going to start revealing letters in 3, 2, 1.
That's not the name I thought it was.
Me neither. I thought I had it with no letters.
What the heck?
Jamie.
Oh,
Jamie.
Deshaun Watson.
That is correct. Jamie, correct. Good job on that one.
Well
You're going to get $500. You'll get to go next, and then you'll get to go first in the next round. But before that, I want to ask you guys about Deshaun Watson. He's a quarterback that last year he was super polarizing. And this year going into the season, he seems like he's pretty polarizing once again. I've seen him go as high as the QB5, QB6 in a draft, and then as late as like the QB15. So where are you guys sitting on Deshaun Watson going into this season? I'm going to come to you first, Jamie. What do you think about Deshaun Watson?
Yeah, I'm in on him. I mean, we saw you got to put your, you got to put your ethics aside, I guess, if you're taking him there, because he's still got that hanging over him, and we're still going to see people on Twitter saying they're not drafting Deshaun Watson just because. But from a football standpoint, I mean, it's reasonable to assume that he's going to figure out that dual threat quarterback that he was been. I don't think he's going to have the upside that he had in his Houston days. Especially when this is a Chubb first offense. But I mean, he's got Amari Cooper. He's got a very dynamic tight end at his disposal, a lot of pieces around him. So I'm fine with him. I think we said quarterback 5-6 is pushing it for me a little bit there, but in the right spot, I'm good with him.
We've assumed Deshaun Watson would be the same quarterback prior to him stopping playing, and I think that assumption has stayed true. He showed us this morning that he's the same person prior to whenever he stopped playing as well, with some of the comments that came out in the media. But that aside, this is a guy who has a skill set that's pretty rare in the NFL. We've watched him be fantasy relevant on very bad Houston Texans teams, and this is a Browns team that I think is better than those teams that he was playing on there, in a higher-powered offense that does want to be run first. But we saw what they can do with a powerful top receiver like Amari Cooper last season. They clearly added more options, going out and getting Elijah Moore, making sure David Njoku was locked up. In that range, top 10 is probably fair, but I'm not overdrafting him, because I think Jamie killed it whenever he said the upside is a little bit more limited in this offense.
JL, outside of Amari Cooper, as we pretty much assume he's going to be the wide receiver 1 on the team, which wide receiver are you leaning towards most if you're going to take another Browns wide receiver? Is it Elijah Moore? Do you like Donovan Peoples-Jones? Is there anyone else?
It's probably Elijah Moore. Donovan Peoples-Jones to me is a high upside stash player, just like he was the past few years, where you're plugging him in those flex weeks where you need somebody, and maybe he turns it into something. He's very athletic. He's just not good enough to be a consistent fantasy star. So Donovan Peoples-Jones as a long-term stash, and I put Elijah Moore in there as well. I do think this offense is going to improve. I think they're going to pass more going into this season. I don't know if Elijah Moore is that main guy though, but out of this group here, I think he's the best bet.
Is David Njoku an acceptable answer? And all the other options are only worth drafting if something opens up in front of them on that depth chart?
There's been a little bit of shifting going around lately with the tight ends, as far as Chig's value fell down. So David Njoku's popped back up to my top 10. I just don't feel very excited to draft him. I just like the targets around Watson more than Njoku. And I don't think Watson has the best history targeting his tight ends. Some good rapport, but it's not like a Mahomes Kelsey, which you're not looking. I mean, that's a bad example, but yeah.
See, we got Scott Fish in here saying, I love the people on this show. What's up, Scott? Welcome.
Love
you, Scott.
And the chat was all over this one. Maria got it. Andrew got it. Scamper said Laste Potato. That was last week's puzzle. Grim got it. Ladarius got it. Nice job, everyone in the chat, figuring that out.
All right. I think we're about ready to move on to our second puzzle.
Let's do it.
Number 2. All right, the category, I'm right out the gate. Player film mashup. This is going to be an NFL player and a film mashed together in some form or another. Okay. So, Jamie, you got that question, the toss-up correct. So you get to go first on this. Would you like to solve? Would you like a question?
I will take the question, please. I'm still not quite sure what I'm looking at for this one.
Some people like to get funny and they like to try to no letter solve it. It's happened before, but
I thought I had Russell Wilson with the last one. I was working out the letters before you started the timer.
I thought it was Antonio Brown with Brown spelled incorrectly.
Yeah. I've gone out on the toss-up so many times, just completely wrong because I'm just trying to no letter solve them. But so I get that. All right. So question. This can be a 50-50 question. The category is going to be PPR fantasy points. So I'll give you 2 players and you'll tell me which one had more PPR fantasy points last season. All right. So the first 2 players, Stephon Diggs or Nick Chubb, who had the most PPR fantasy points last season?
Oh, wow. All right. So, I mean, Diggs was the PPR thing. I want to say Diggs right away, but the touchdowns has to be Chubb still. Yeah, I'll go Chubb.
I'm sorry, Jamie, that's incorrect.
Really? Wow.
It is. Simon, we're going to come to I know. We're going to come to you next. Would you like to no letter solve this or would you like a question?
I'd like to no letter solve, but I need a question.
Okay. PPR fantasy points, who had more last year? Travis Kelce or Justin Herbert?
4-point or 6-point per passing touchdown? Justin Herbert.
I'm sorry, Simon, that's incorrect.
What?
Travis Kelce had more.
Kelce had more than Herbert?
That's absolutely absurd.
All right. Jail, we're going to come to you. Would you like to solve or would you like a question?
I need a question.
All right. We're doing PPR fantasy points once again. Amon-Ra St. Brown or Geno Smith?
Geno Smith.
That is correct.
Let's go.
So you get to guess a letter. What letter would you like to guess?
Let's go with N, as in no ends.
Jail, there is 1 N. I thought there was going to be more.
It's wrong. All right, I'll take another question.
All right, next question. Derrick Henry or Jalen Waddle?
Fantasy points?
Yes, PPR fantasy points.
Derrick Henry or Jalen Waddle? Let's go with Derrick Henry.
Jail, that's correct. You get to guess another letter.
Let's go with an R.
All right, Jail guesses an R. There are 2 R's.
Okay. Can I buy a vowel?
Yes, you may. What vowel would you like to buy?
Buy an E.
E is an elephant. There are 1, 2, 3, 4 E's. Take 400 away from you. And Jail, this is going to be your third question coming up. You could also buy another vowel. You still have enough money. Take a question or you can solve.
I'll buy another vowel.
Okay.
I'll take an I.
An I. There is 1 I.
I see what movie's down there, but what the hell are you mashing up? Stink-ass. Sorry for calling you a stink ass, Joey.
It's all right. My mom called me as a child, so it works.
It's comfortable. Let's go with O.
O. You want to buy an O as well?
Yes, please.
There are 2 O's.
Oh, okay.
That brings you to $800, Jail.
I will. Okay, I'll take another question.
All right. This will be your third and final question. If you get this right, you get to bank all of your money.
Not you, Jail, Joey. I wasn't calling
Yeah, thank you. I knew
just
you
so we're clear.
All right. PPR fantasy points. Who had more last season? Aaron Jones or CeeDee Lamb?
What was that?
PPR fantasy points.
Aaron Jones or CeeDee Lamb?
The chat has begun to solve it.
No. Let's go with CeeDee Lamb.
You are correct, JL.
Yeah.
That's a letter.
All right, let's go with a. I don't know if any of these matter. Oh, let's go with a P.
P is in Paul. JL, there are
Okay, and I would
three
like to
Ps.
solve.
All right. Read it as it's on the board.
Cooper Kuppenheimer.
That is correct. It's Cooper Kuppenheimer.
Nice. That was a good puzzle, Joey.
Thank you. I liked it. I thought it was fun.
The movie we didn't know we needed.
Yeah,
Right,
Cooper
exactly.
Kuppenheimer.
I thought of this like a month ago, and I've been waiting for it to be released so I could put it out there so it was more relevant. So
If
today
we're
is that
being-
day. Good.
The only thing I know about Oppenheimer is that it's the other choice to go see that's not the Barbie movie this past weekend, and that Josh from Drake and Josh is in there, and that that's about all I know.
Josh.
Peck.
I was going to say Bell, and I knew that was wrong, but I almost said it anyway.
That's Drake's last name. No, Drake Bell and Josh Peck. You got it nailed.
Nice. Scampers in here. Yes, DeAndre Hopkins-Keimer.
Yeah, the Oppenheimer part, people are getting that right off the bat. I mean, it's a long name at the bottom, but the Cooper Cup, that's pretty good. So,
I
guys,
like
as far
Tim's
as
name.
Cooper Cup, oh, good, Simon.
Just I like Scampers in here. Tim Biakatuba.
That is Tim Biakabatuga is my favorite NFL player name of all time. As a child, I was just like, that's the coolest name.
That was, yep.
But as far as Cooper Kupp goes, last year he was number one among all wide receivers in fantasy points per game. How are you guys feeling about him this year? If he plays the whole season, is he your number one wide receiver? Is he behind Jefferson or Chase? Where do you guys have him?
I think any lower than 5 is irresponsible. I was tempted to put that number at 3. He's got to be in conversation for the top overall wide receiver. It was a bad offense last year that he played in. Yes, we expected to be worse, but as long as Matthew Stafford is healthy, I expect that offense to run through Stafford and Cooper Kupp. He was absurd in his time that he played last year. I think maybe we're just forgetting how great he was again because of his insane season the year before and it getting truncated, cut short last year. So I'm drafting him as an elite wide receiver with Justin Jefferson. Who do I have first? I'll put Jefferson first just because of a little bit more comfort in that offense. Cooper Kupp is right behind him, though.
Excellent. Is this the only wide receiver that you're wanting to draft from the Rams, Jamie? Is there another wide receiver you like?
For the most part. I think, Van Jefferson, I think if you're in deep leagues is a fun late target. We were talking about that in our Scott Fish chat he's kind of in that Isaiah Hodgins, Rashid Shaheed tier that you kind of want to try and find the best one out of that thing. I think he's fine there. But other than that, I'm with Simon that it's the Cooper Kupp show there as long as everybody's healthy. I mean, don't forget what he did. 18.4 fantasy points per game. And, his target share was still over 31% before he got hurt. So as long as he and Stafford are healthy, he could be one again.
I was listening to a show the other day where they said that a third of the games that Cooper Kupp played in 2021, he scored 30 or more fantasy points. A third of the games he played in. That's unbelievable. All right, let's get on to the next one, guys. This category will be former teammates. So this will be 2 players. That's first name and last name that used to be teammates. They no longer are.
Is the first name and last name of the same player on the same line, or is it first name
so
of the
it's
first player, last
you
name
read
of
the
the
top
second
one
player?
as a name and then the bottom one as a name.
Okay, cool. Just making sure.
I don't know why I was pointing at my screen because you guys couldn't see that. I just looked really bad. I saw Oppenheimer apparently. All right, let's go. So who solved that? JL, you solved that. So Jamie, we're going to come back to you. You're going to get the first question, or you can solve.
I do not have a solve. I'll take a question, please.
All right. PPR fantasy points. Which player had more last season? Tony Pollard or AJ Brown?
It's a doozy of a running back wide receiver. No, it's got to be AJ Brown. AJ Brown.
It is AJ Brown.
Okay.
All right. You get a free reign to guess a letter.
All right. We'll go T.
T for Tom. There are 2 T's.
Well, that
That's gonna
ruins
give
everything I
you
started working on.
$1,000, and you have a choice to buy a vowel, take a question, or you can solve.
Okay.
Let's do another question first.
Okay, another question. It'll be PPR fantasy points once again. Which player had more last season, Justin Fields or Devonta Smith?
Oh, God. Justin Fields or Devontae Smith? No, Fields. Fields in his rushing. I mean,
You are correct.
Yeah.
I was trying to trick you, and I
This-
failed.
you almost didn't. Almost didn't. The obvious, the seemingly obvious ones are often the hardest ones on these shows. I've found when I'm
Yeah.
playing along.
I always just say the first name. I've stopped trying to work with my brain.
Stop trying to
It's
work
really-
with my brain.
Yeah. All right.
All
Jamie,
right.
you get to guess a letter. Which
He
letter
does
would that?
his own thing. I do my own thing.
My
just out here,
key
LIDIA.
placement threw off everything here. So let's go N, please.
N is in Nancy. There are 4 N's. Great letter guess there. That's going to give you $2,000 more to give you $3,000, and you can buy some vowels if you'd like, or you can solve, or you take your third question.
Oh.
If you get that right, you go to bank all of this beautiful money that we convert into Cole's cash by the end of the show.
Oh boy. All right. I've got the first name. Let's buy a vowel. I'll do an A, please.
All right. Maria made me laugh. I'm sorry. All right. Oh, 4 A's. So I'm taking $400 away from you. 1, 2, 3, 4. But it was a good $400 spent.
Okay.
Would you like your third question? Another vowel, or would you like to solve?
All right. Let's do my last question.
Okay. This will be in PPR fantasy points. And once again, if you get this right, get to bank all your money. Who had more PPR fantasy points last season? Tyler Lockett or Saquon Barkley?
Lockett was my savior on my Scott Fish team last year.
Will he be your demise here?
No, it's Barkley.
You are correct.
It's Barkley,
It is
yeah.
Barkley. All right.
Okay.
So you get to guess your third letter. If you get this right, you will bank all the money, and you'll have 5 seconds to solve.
Okay. L.
L is in lizard. There are 2 L's.
That didn't help the bottom word at all.
So I'm going to give you 5 seconds.
Okay. Ryan Tannehill. Devontae. Parker.
I think you got it in right at the buzzer.
Use.
Jamie, you
Oh,
are
quick.
correct.
Dinkass.
Well done.
Nice.
I wasn't even thinking about Ryan Tannehill's old teams. I was just thinking, man, who are some old Titans? I don't know.
I just wanted Jarvis Landry to fit there so bad.
Jarvis?
I was like, Jarvis Landry.
They were teammates on the Miami Dolphins.
Nice.
So
Well
these
done.
are 2 players I've been kind of interested in because of some different landing spots for free agency. With Devontae Parker, with DeAndre Hopkins going to Tennessee, are you guys maybe drafting Devontae Parker now that Juju and him are the only really wide receivers that are going high in ADP? How do you guys feel about Devontae Parker?
Same as I felt every other year that I played fantasy football, which is meh. He's fine.
What I'm worried about is accidentally drafting the second option on this Mac Jones-led Patriot offense that I'm not super excited for. I tend to think it's going to be Juju Smith-Schuster as the first option. I'm not sure how much value there is in Devontae Parker as the second most targeted wide receiver in this Patriots offense from Mac Jones. Now, if we switch to the Zapster, maybe we're talking, but
let's go.
for the time being,
Zap Master?
Devontae Parker, I'm not hyper interested in drafting.
Yeah. I buried the lead a little bit. The real questions with Ryan Tannehill, how much has his value gone up with Hopkins coming in there in Tennessee? JL, how are you feeling about Tannehill? Are you more optimistic on him now?
Slightly, yes. I felt like I was probably higher than consensus on Ryan Tannehill prior to the signing. I don't think Ryan Tannehill is that special, but I think he is good enough to put together an NFL offense. And I think he's good enough to put together some fantasy points. So I think he'll be fine this year. He's got some solid weapons, and DeAndre Hopkins just adds another outlet for him to toss it to, take it to the house. Boom. That is great for Ryan Tannehill.
The worries you have there is it his job the entire year, right? They did spend draft capital on a rookie quarterback coming in and Will Levis. You have to imagine the plan is to get him some playing time. Ryan Tannehill is a fairly secure and safe starting quarterback for an NFL team. But if this Tennessee Titans team starts losing more games than they're intending, because they've been near the top of their division recently, we may see Will Levis sooner rather than later. And then Tannehill's doing you no good if he's on the bench.
I think he's fine as like a third quarterback in Superflex and 2 QB leagues, but he probably shouldn't be drafted in one QB leagues, even as a backup, just for some of the reasons you guys have said. And, you can't count on him to run anymore either. So that was where his value was prior to 2022.
I think I might do some DFS stacks this year with Ryan Tannehill and Hopkins on certain weeks where I like the matchups. I think that would be kind of where Ryan Tannehill slots into my 2023 fantasy outlook.
They'll probably be cheap.
Yeah.
I see Alex down here agreeing with what you said, Jamie. Perfect quarterback 3 in Superflex right now. So don't spend up, but if you can grab them, might be some free value while he's still getting starts.
I'll pull up the next puzzle. Jamie, you did a wonderful job solving that puzzle. So Simon, we're going to come to you first for my favorite category that I created with my own little brain. This is banned items. This is I went to an NFL team's stadium website to see which items you're not allowed to bring into the stadium. And did I find a doozy this week? This is just one item, but it's like a sentence about the item. So this is banned items. One item. I laughed for a good 5 minutes. So enjoy this once we solve it. So Simon, we're coming to you first for banned items.
I'll take a question.
Question or do you want to solve?
I am quite familiar with the banned item list at most NFL stadiums, but I'm going to need a question here.
It's I'm just, I'm trying to bring it all full circle. All right, question. PPR fantasy points. Russell Wilson, who had more last year, Russell Wilson or Amari Cooper?
Amari Cooper.
You are correct, Simon. What letter would you like to guess?
T.
T.
T is in Tom. That is correct, Simon. I need to change the value there.
The way these are set up makes me think it's a crossword. Every time I look at it, I'm like thinking I got to solve a crossword puzzle.
No crossword. It's a sentence, kind of. Yeah.
All right, Simon. So you got 3 T's. I'll take my second question here.
All right. PPR fantasy points. Who had more last year? Chris Godwin or Jamar Chase?
Oh,
wow.
Chris Godwin.
I didn't mean to laugh at you missing this question. I was laughing at something else. That is incorrect, Simon. It was actually Jamar Chase. Jamie, we're going to come to you.
It's JL's turn.
What? Oh, JL, I'm sorry.
Skip me.
I didn't mean to skip you. I love our guests so much. I was just wanting to get back to him, but that's fine. I love you too. So let's, I just said I love you, JL. It's the first time I've said that. That's
wow.
Nice. I know. Well, we all have little moments here. This one was on camera. JL, question. Special. Would you like to solve? You can't buy any vowels.
That third word is toot. I'll take a question.
It is. All right. Question. All right. PPR fantasy points. Who had more last season? Christian Kirk or Miles Sanders?
Kirk.
Christian Kirk is correct, JL. What letter would you like to guess?
Let's go with an R.
R is in Reginald. Oh,
no
R's
no
in this
Reginald's in this puzzle. The heck?
Oh, man. All right. Now, Jamie, we're going to come to you.
That ruined a few things here. Okay. I'll take a question, please.
All right. Question. Still in PPR fantasy points. Who had more last season? Cooper Kupp or Joe Mixon?
I'm trying to think how many games Kupp actually missed. I think enough. I'll go Mixon.
That is correct. Mixon is the correct answer. I'm gonna have to stay out of the chat. The chat's funny. They're also smart, but they are very funny today. You are correct, Joe Mixon. What letter would you like to guess?
Smart. If they solve this, I'll go.
No, they're always smart though. They're always always
yes.
on top of it.
All right. I'll go S.
S is in Sam. There are 4 S's. Good job. I'll reveal them to you. Now you've got some options here. you can. I wasn't trying to spell anything today, so nothing got spelled. You can either buy a vowel, take another question, or you can solve.
Okay, I'll buy an A.
All right. A. There are 4 A's.
S,
1,
S,
2,
S,
3,
S.
4. Oh boy. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right.
Why do you always find yourself in this situation, Joey?
That's.
Random side note. I was looking into the history of why football was called soccer today while writing questions. That question did not make the cut in trivia tonight, but it was originally ass soccer because it was shortened to, it was association soccer shortened, and they called it, it was spelled out ASSOCCER. Ass soccer.
How long did it take them to realize?
Very quickly before they changed it to just soccer after that.
The high ratings speak for themselves, though.
Wow, it's a hit.
Yeah. All right. I'll take a question, please.
All right. Next
Well,
question.
another.
PPR fantasy points. Who had more last year? James Cook or Dalvin Cook? Or James Conner or Dalvin Cook? Sorry about that.
Dalvin Cook.
You are correct, Jamie. What letter would you like to guess?
H. It's the only one I know for sure here. I don't think it's going to help me, though.
It's the only letter you know for
There's
sure.
Yeah,
one
no.
H.
Yeah, I'm still learning the rest. Still learning the rest.
The rest are shaky.
Now, that was your second question. So you can buy a vowel or you can take your third question. Just a reminder, if you get that right, you get to bank all of that beautiful $2,100 if you correctly guess a letter after that.
Well, I've got most of it.
All right. Let's do it by an E first.
Okay. We'll buy an E. There are 1, 2, 3, 4 E's. 4.
I
Excellent.
don't know this one.
I
All right.
have something, but it doesn't make any sense.
I think I know the last word, and it's funny if I do. All right.
All of mine are ass related.
I'll do my last question.
All right. This will be your third and final question. PPR fantasy points. Who had more last season? TJ Hawkinson or Leonard Fournette?
Oh, no.
I know. It's a tough one.
I love the oh-nos. Oh, fart.
I feel like I forgot so many of Fournette's things just as he's not on a team now. I'm going to say Hawkinson.
Jamie, I'm sorry. That's
Damn it.
incorrect. We're going to
Damn
go
it,
to
I had a letter
Simon.
too.
And I'm going to solve.
Damn
I'm
it.
not going
Okay.
to play around with any trivia. I'm going to say any item that could be used as a missile.
Missile was the word I thought too.
That is
Wow.
correct.
Wow.
Simon, you had 1,500 just sitting over there. You're going to get 1,000. That's fine.
Why don't I get 1,500?
Yeah, you're
Well,
just 1,500.
That was not correct. But you're on the board.
Well, you're only getting 2/3 of that.
Yes, at Raymond James Stadium in Tampa, Florida, any item that could be used as a missile is banned from the stadium. So
That's pretty broad. I got a missile
I thought
right
so
here.
too.
Not when you
But
throw
it's
it.
funny because in the gift shop they sell those little Buccaneer swords. Like that's basically a missile. And so I found this very funny.
I think
anything
JL
in big shape, like a water bottle, I could missile at somebody from the from the row.
Yeah,
up the
right?
bowl.
It's just it
True.
was so random. Like
What is the-
everybody else is like, non-clear bags, guns, like the things you would think. But this was just like, what?
the official
And then Andrew, I think Andrew's the first one to get it. Or maybe
The-
Grim.
The official definition of missile is any object which is forcibly propelled at a target either by hand or from a mechanical weapon.
Oh,
And
what?
the
But that's
example-
every item.
The example sentence given in the Oxford English Dictionary is one of the players was hit on the head by a missile thrown by a spectator.
Wow.
That is the
so that's
precise example
Wow.
given in the Oxford English Dictionary right now.
Dang.
So you're not allowed to.
Mental
I think,
satanic
JL, I
code.
think you hit it whenever you said not when you throw it. I think what this means is just like Justin Herbert isn't allowed in Raymond James Stadium, or at the very least
With
is
any
not allowed to
items.
hold. He's not allowed to hold anything at Raymond James
Not
Stadium.
allowed to wear anything either.
If you come in, you look a little too strong. You're like, sorry, I'm gonna have to take all your objects.
All your items need to be turned over to the stadium.
Please turn over all your missiles.
Oh goodness. All right. There's no football questions to ask about this. That was just fun. So let's go to the next puzzle, guys. Oh. Next category will be back-to-back. These are two NFL players. Read them from just like the Devontae Parker and Ryan Tannehill one. First name, last name, that are back-to-back in ADP currently. So two players that are going back-to-back in ADP right now.
Nice.
And that's average draft position for anyone watching that was not aware of what I was saying with ADP.
Whew, this question got a lot less awkward.
Simon, you solved that absolutely correctly and wonderfully. You let them do all the work. JL, it's going to be your turn to go first. Would you like to question or would you like to solve?
Question me.
All right. Let's hop out of PPR fantasy points. Let's find a new category.
I know we were joking around, but you legitimately took $500 away from me.
I did.
I had $1,500 from the 3 T's that I got up there, right?
There you go. And you got it back. So stop complaining.
There we go.
Right? Forget about it. All right. We're going to go to Super Bowl odds according to the FanDuel Sportsbook. I'll give you 2 NFL teams. You tell me which one's more favored to win the Super Bowl.
Okay.
Simple. All right. JL, who's going to win the Super Bowl according to the FanDuel Sportsbook between Buffalo or Dallas?
Buffalo.
That is correct. JL, you get to guess a letter.
Let's go with a C.
C is in car. I'm sorry, JL.
Weird
there are no
first letter to
C's.
choose.
I didn't want to say it, but you did. So
I believed in it, Joe. You said C, and I was like, yeah, of course there's a C up there.
Came to me out of nowhere, and I felt like I had to go with it.
Oh, God. Jamie, you're up. You get to either solve or you get to take a question.
I'll take a question, please.
Jamie, I would like to know which one of these teams is more favored to win the Super Bowl, the Philadelphia Eagles or the San Francisco 49ers?
Oh, man. Oh, my God. I'm going to say the Eagles just because of the quarterback situation in San Francisco, but this could easily be wrong.
I'm not sure if your reasoning was correct, but your answer is correct, so you get to guess a letter.
Oof. T.
T is in Turkey. All right. There are 2 T's. That's going to give you $1,000. And Simon slammed the desk because his players are now gone. And you get to either buy a vowel, take another question, or you can solve.
It is not Tony Pollard up top.
Or Adam Thielen.
All right. I'll take a question.
I don't know who those guys' names were that you were just saying. All right, question. Back to Super Bowl odds. Which team's more favored to win the Super Bowl? The Kansas City Chiefs or the Cincinnati Bengals?
Last I saw, the Chiefs are the favorites, so I'll go with that.
And you would be correct. All right. Jamie, what letter would you like to guess?
Well, I guess not L. S.
S is in Sam. There are 2 S's.
Ooh.
1, 2, just like that. That brings up to $2,000. You can buy a vowel. You can take another question, which would be your third question, or you can solve.
I think I know the bottom guy. I'll buy an A.
A for apple.
Oh, apple.
There are 3 A's. Okay. I'll take 300 away. You can buy a vowel or take your third question, or you can solve.
Can I ask a question? Does this have to be the same position?
They're players that are back-to-back in overall ADP.
Okay, I'll solve.
Okay.
Mark Andrews, Devontae Smith.
That is correct.
Nice. I was there with Devonta Smith. I was having trouble placing that top name.
The A did it.
My mother is walking over to the side of the camera. I apologize. She's interrupting the show.
Joey's
Inappropriate.
mom.
Hey.
Says hi. All right, Jamie.
Hello.
Congratulations. You got that correct.
Thank you.
That's what this show needs is more Joey's mom.
I think so. She said she wants to come on camera one day. Maybe we'll make that. Maybe we'll make her dream happen on her birthday. So she's standing right over me. This is crazy. All right. So Mark Andrews and Devonta Smith. If you're on the clock in any draft, redraft, which player are you taking? Leave, lady.
Well, it depends. If it's tight end premium, I'm pretty much Kelsey or Wait. I'm sorry, unless it's tight end premium, I'm pretty much Kelsey or Wait. So I'm taking Devontae Smith of the 2 here.
I'm drafting Mark Andrews. I'm drafting Mark Andrews here, and I've been of the Travis Kelce is worth drafting anywhere up to the 101, and I will not bat an eye because of the positional advantage that he applies. With the new offensive system being implemented there in Baltimore and the uncertainty with all of the receiving weapons there, we've got Odell Beckham Jr., we've got Zay Flowers, we've got Rashad Bateman. Mark Andrews is the solid piece that I expect to be the main beneficiary of this Todd Monken offense. And this may be the year that we see Mark Andrews close that gap a little bit when it comes to like the elite tight ends. I'm willing to take that risk in the first couple rounds and draft him early because the floor is still what we've seen from him over the past couple of years, which is at worst the top 3 tight end. But I think this year, specifically with the change in that Baltimore offense, we may be looking at a jump for Mark Andrews, not necessarily position-wise because he's probably already the tight end too, but just moving up closer to Travis Kelce and further away from TJ Hawkinson and Dallas Goedert and whoever the hell else is sitting down there in the mini glob.
Our good friend Dave Kluge has been saying that the gap between Mark Andrews and Travis Kelce should be a lot closer than it is right now. And you've got Kelce going as close as number 1 overall. Mark Andrews is going middle of the 3rd round. So, yeah, I think you're getting Mark Andrews where he's going in ADP right now. You're getting some good value.
I put my money where my mouth is. I drafted him at the 111 in Scott Fishbowl. It is a tight end premium league, but it got to me.
Andrews,
and I did not let him pass me at that spot. I'm in.
Awesome. Well, do we have time for one more puzzle today, gentlemen?
We got time for one more.
We do. All right. Let's do one more puzzle. All right. Let's see what this category is. Oh, rhyme time. My least favorite category.
No.
I thought I would give it a try. So we'll see how this goes. So this will be something like, Simon, give me an example of rhyme time. I'm not good at rhyming.
A weekend of romance in France with Trey Lance.
Beautiful. So everyone understands the question.
Love
now, Jamie, you answered that correctly as my mother was distracting me. So Simon, you'll get to go correct. You'll get to go first in this round. Would you like to solve or would you like a question?
I'll take a question. And if you could, I want someone's mom to distract me.
So does that
weird thing to say.
No, it's a weird thing to hear.
It just took a turn.
I had no issue saying it.
Maria saying, have her check the J labeled all your underwear for Canton in case you do get lost. You know, there's a lot of people afraid I'm going to get lost in Canton. I'll have you guys know that that's probably
for good reason.
Yeah, Tim's the one that gets lost, but he always finds his way back. So
there is no lost for Tim. He's always where he needs to be.
He's in a perpetual state of being lost and also found.
Before I knew Tim, I was so worried he was going to get lost the first night I met him. And no, he was there the next morning. Hey, I'm like, oh man.
No, he's been alive 100% of the times I've known him.
So far, yeah.
All right, Simon. Super Bowl odds. Which team's more favored to win the Super Bowl? The New York Jets or the Los Angeles Chargers?
Oh, that's a dumb question. There is a lot of hype around the New York Jets, and this is just playing the Chargers.
Simon, that's incorrect.
Damn it!
Wow.
Aaron Rodgers.
JL, it comes to you now.
Okay.
Would you like a question or would you like to solve?
I would like to solve.
All right.
I mean, I would like a question.
No, you
trying to make fun now. I don't want to solve.
Thank you. It's very easy to do. All right, Super Bowl odds. Which team's more favored to win the Super Bowl next season? The Miami Dolphins or the Baltimore Ravens?
Dolphins?
That's incorrect. It's your Ravens, JL. Thanks for believing in them. All right, Jamie.
Ravens.
All right.
I too will
take a question.
All right. Super Bowl odds. Which team's more favored to win the Super Bowl? The Detroit Lions or the Cleveland Browns?
The Browns.
I'm sorry, that's incorrect. It's actually the Detroit Lions.
They freaking love the Lions.
They
the sports books love the Lions right now. They are. It's nuts. I'm shocked every time I look at it. And then I continue drafting all the Lions offensive players because apparently that's why. I'm also excited.
We've made it all the way
ahead of some of the other teams you said in this thing, like the Dolphins. But go ahead. Just musing.
I would have to look that up. I didn't put the odds next to the names. I just put the names down. Simon, your question?
I'll take a question because I can't solve yet.
Which team's more favored to win the Super Bowl, the Jacksonville Jaguars or the Green Bay Packers?
That would be the Green Bay Packers.
Simon, that's incorrect. I'm starting to wonder if I don't know how to read sports odds.
See, no, my thought process there was I was trying to combine the love for Jordan Love that they have and like the MVP odds into some hype ahead of a team that people still seem to be down on. But when I don't overthink it, I'm wrong too, Joey.
There's a lot of letters on this puzzle. Okay. Dale's going to
get moving here.
I'll take a question.
All right. Who's going to win the Super Bowl? Minnesota Vikings or New Orleans Saints?
The Vikings.
Yeah, baby.
Let's go.
All right.
N.
What letter would you like to guess?
N.
There's no N. Sorry, Joe.
Damn it.
N is in Nancy.
Yeah,
There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 N's. Joe, would you like to buy a vowel, take a question, or can you solve?
Val. A.
Ooh, I like the speed of it. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Don't know.
2,
Question.
3, 4. All right, question. Who's going to win the Super Bowl between Seattle or Denver? Who's more favored to win the Super Bowl?
Seattle.
You are correct, JL.
Let's go with an
What
R.
letter? R. There's one R in that whole puzzle.
Wow.
Val, question or solve?
Question.
All right. Third and final question. If you get this right, you'll bank all your money. Who was more favored to win the Super Bowl between the Pittsburgh Steelers and New England Patriots?
Steelers and Patriots, right?
Steelers and Patriots.
Let's go Steelers.
You are correct. If you get this letter right, you'll get to bank all of your money. What letter will that be?
Let's go with an. Oh God, I'm gonna mess this up. Let's go with the. Let's go with the D.
Oh, there's 2 D's. Good job, Jale. You're gonna bank all that money. You got 5 seconds to solve.
I don't need them.
All right, Jamie, we're gonna come to you. Question.
I don't know any words. Yes, please.
All right. Who's more favored to win the Super Bowl next season, the Chicago Bears or the New York Giants?
The Giants. Please
You
be
are
right.
correct.
Okay.
Yeah, you are correct. What letter would you like to guess?
Oh no. I'm only up by 100.
Nobody's done it. T.
T. There are 5 T's. Is that right?
Jeez.
Yeah, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Oh, no.
I got it.
Would you like to buy a vowel, take another question, or can you solve?
So it's not even gonna get to me.
Buy an. It might. Trust me. I'll buy an E.
E. There are 3 E's. 1,
Oh.
2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Question, solve, or would you like to buy another vowel?
I feel like the chat's screaming at me right now.
Are they? Let me see.
They always are.
They have to be.
They're so mean.
I
think Scampers. Yeah, Scampers is the first one to solve it.
I'll buy an I.
I for igloo. There are
Oh,
2, 3,
so many igloos.
4, 5.
What is that fourth
3,
word?
4, 5.
Oh, okay. I'll solve.
No.
Sorry. The vowels did it. Taking the midnight train with Devon A. Shane.
That is correct.
No.
Nice
I like
job,
it.
Jamie.
I like
And-
it.
Just at the end to
I like it.
steal the victory from JL. He thought he had it. If you would have missed any questions or not solved that puzzle,
Oh, I
it
didn't
would have
even
come to
see
me
that.
and JL would have been the victor in
Oh
that
wow,
game.
I didn't even see that.
You just
But you got it.
casually just stole
Laser.
the game.
Laser focused on the puzzle and not the scores.
Staying undefeated in our games today.
Yes.
Jamie, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to come and play some Fantasy Fortune with us.
Thank you guys for having me on. I say it again. This is my favorite show to be on.
And everybody, if you are not following our friend Jamie, you need to go and fix that right now. You can find him at JAC36003600. It's right there below his face on the screen and in the link to these videos. And you can check out some of his awesome songs that he's written for Scott Fishbowl to raise money for an awesome cause. They're pinned there on the top of his profile. You've been doing it for a couple years now. And if you haven't seen them, you're doing yourself a disservice.
They're still coming. They're still coming this year too. Even though a lot of the drafts are wrapping up, they'll go throughout the season. I got some like waiver songs kind of on the back burner for when it starts. So thanks for that, guys, and I appreciate you having me on.
Of course, we got Scott Fish in the chat saying, "When is pub trivia?" Well, Scott, you need to close your ears because we, as a rule, do not tell you. But for everybody else, pub trivia is tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern time. Myself, Joey, and our friend Tim will be live for the World Cup edition of the Fantasy Football Pub Trivia Bettercast. So come hang out with us then.
I'll send you a link, Scott. Don't worry.
Yeah, just send it to Scott. We'll be back tomorrow for the Fantasy Football Game Show at 3 p.m. Eastern time. Until then, we are out of here. Big thanks to Jamie. Big thanks to everybody in the chat for stopping by and hanging out. And a medium thanks to Joey because I'm still a little mad about some of those questions, but great puzzles. We'll see everybody tomorrow at 3 o'clock. Until then, enjoy the rest of your night. Adios, everyone.
Bye, beautiful people.
Goodbye.